All right. Um, I'm just like I'm talking about the black pill again, and like I've been seeing a lot of stuff recently about like the black pill versus the blue pill, or the freaking the like um just been seeing a lot of like BP edits, BP black pill, not blue pill, and I've just been thinking a lot about it. Um, for those who don't know, black pill is basically, it's like a very disgusting corner of the internet, and it's about it's just the general idea that your looks are like the cornerstone of your identity and like your value in life, and how are like your looks are generated by your genetics, and how you don't have control over your genetics, and that if you're chopped, you know, and when they say chopped, they only mean that you don't, you know, conform to the like Eurocentric beauty standards that dictate whether someone's conventionally attractive or not. Like I'm not. I believe like you know 95% of the world like is beautiful. Just not just 95% of the world doesn't conform to the Eurocentric beauty standards. Like I don't. I mean, I'm Asian, so like like don't have that strong of a jawline. You know, what can you do? Like straight Asian hair. Um, you know, it is what it is, which it's fine. And it's a sad thing. Like not everybody conforms to these standards, and then these people who don't conform and want to, and then they start blaming them not conforming to these beauty standards. They blame it on their genetics, and they blame how they're not attractive on. That's why they don't have money, and that's why no girls want them, and that's why their life is miserable. And I was watching a video about watching a dude who didn't conform to these standards, which is fine. And he was talking about how he's taking the black pill, how he's accepting that, he's just has that he's like not attractive, and how that's dictated his whole life, and how that's why he's never going to get a girl, and blah 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 blah. I was in the comment section of this video where there was just hundreds of people like, man, this guy was ahead of his time, and he was he's so right, and yeah, blah 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 blah. And I started kind of arguing with these people. I'm like, dude, like this is such a shitty mentality to have. Like, just give up on the world, and like just give up, and like just say like it's don't take any accountability for your own failures, and just be like it's my genetics, and it's because I wasn't beautiful enough. Like I lost the genetic lottery. First of all, if you look at the stats on like like the total human genome, like the amount of combinations there are is like too big for you to understand how many combinations of people that could be made. And what I mean by that is that there's been like 100 billion people ever, and that is like an infinitesimal small fraction. 100 billion is an infinitesimal small fraction of the amount of people who could live. That you won the genetic lottery. You got to be born. You got to live life. You got the ability to play the game of life. Which, if you don't find at least a little bit of happiness, joy, or kind of feeling of um, like purpose from that, or happiness from that, then I don't know what to tell you. However, these people do have a point. They're not kind of, they're right. Like, the world is a fucked up place, especially, well, I'm gonna say the world I live in is a fucked up place. Like, okay, that sounded privileged. How the world, how the the first world that I live in, that kind of sounds trippy, like America, Europe, these places, how they are impacted on like, how do I explain this? The experience that you live in these worlds are going to be influenced by how you look. Like, 1,000,000%. That's a fact. If you're, you know, no, I'm gonna sound like an incel if I say this, but if you are a 6'4" true atom, those who know, living in America, you are going to live a good life. Like it's the odds that you live a bad life are pretty small. Like there was that one like dude that was like arrested for his good looks, or not, sorry, he was not arrested for looking good. He was arrested, but because he looked really good. I'm gonna find a picture. I'll put it up here. Okay, because he looked good, this dude became a model and then became successful. He was arrested. His mugshot went viral, and because he looked good, he then became a model and like didn't have to go down this path of being a criminal. And that just goes to show like you will be treated differently if you look good. So these people kind of they do have a point. They're right. Like your looks do matter. And then when I said I sounded privileged, just want to say like um first of all, with the whole like being lucky to be born, like thank God that I don't believe in God, but figure of speech. Thank whatever being there is that I can sit here and complain about my appearance and like, oh my God, like if you see like my facial symmetry is like a little bit off and like this side is like fucked up and like, God, that's amazing that I can do that. I have the privilege to do that, and that I was lucky enough to be born to be able to do that. And also I was extremely lucky to be born in America with, you know, parents that provide and or I'm extremely grateful for that. So, I think some black pillars need to take a step back. Like it could be worse. I don't think that there's a lot of people taking the black pill that are like in like Damascus, Syria right now. That's like getting bombed by Israel. Like what? Or like in Gaza or some shit like that. Like, are those people taking the black pill? Probably not, because that's like, come on, like such a first world problem to be out here complaining about our appearances. So that's another thing these black pillars gotta take a step back and be like, hold up, man, maybe I should stop like bitching. But they do have a point. Okay, everyone's problems are valid. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, there's people who have it worse than you, so that's why you should be happy. It's extremely hard to have that kind of mindset, especially when like you're surrounded by a bunch of people that share that same problem. And that's what I want to talk about. Another thing I want to talk about is the echo chamber of the internet. So what I mean by that is that if, 19 like let's go back to like 1940. Well, you probably would have more. So let's say like 1950. If you were a chop back then, you were kind of isolated, and sure that isolation, well, I'm sure that isolation was bad and like that probably hurt you, but you weren't surrounded or you couldn't find a community as easily of a bunch of people that shared the same mindset of you, right? And like that's why the black pill is kind of a newer term. It's because it only sprouted up because people came together as a community and like, fuck these girls, they blah blah blah, because our genetics aren't perfect, and that's why these girls don't like us, not because of anything else, and that's why blah 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 blah. And that's why I have to switch up on the world and just hate the world and just give up and fold my cards. And that's just valid. But that just happened because in sorry, when that happens, you get this echo chamber where it's people would just a girl rejected me instantly today, and it must be because I have recessive zygotes, and I'm six, and I'm sorry, and I'm 5'2", and I'm 300 pounds, and it's because of my genetics and my metabolic rate, and that's because of my genetics. First of all, it's probably cap. But second of all, you're gonna go to that community, and that community is gonna like re they're gonna validate your feelings, and they're gonna be like, yes, you're right, because your genetics are fucked. It's not your fault. It's the woman's fault because she shouldn't be caring about your looks that much, and it's also the genetics fault, and blah blah blah, and it's anyone's fault but yours. And it allows these people to take zero accountability, right? Um, if you were 300 pounds, you are doing something wrong, or I mean, honestly, the world is it's so not simple. Like, you could be like, well, he was born into a poor area, and that means like he didn't have access to, you know, learning health literacy and nutritional literacy and blah blah blah. But I digress. Like, I you got to take some accountability sometimes. Like, it's not always the world's fault. Okay, you gotta like if you're like 300 pounds, you got to take some accountability, right? As at a certain point. But that's not what I want to talk about, right? And these people are, you know, they're mad. They go to this echo chamber. They feel validated because they get validation from these people that share the same ideas as them, and then they just resound to stay in this community because they feel validation. They feel good. Like, all these people share the same experience as me. I'm right. Everyone else is wrong. I should be, you know, it is my genetics fault. And first of all, it's just, I cannot believe that people are given the opportunity to play. Let's I like to use metaphors a lot for life. And let's just say that life is like poker. Okay. Life is a game of poker. You get dealt some cards, you get, you get, a river and a run and whatnot and all that shit from the world, and you don't have control over those cards either. And sure, you have to compete a little bit. You gotta beat out your competition. And what these people do, and it's the game of life. Like, you don't get to fold your card. If you fold your cards, you're out. Like, you're done. You don't get to play another hand, right? Which is different from poker. But these people that feel like they just got unlucky, which they probably didn't, realistically, if you have the ability to become indoctrinated into the black pill community, you probably have some privileges that you don't that you're not acknowledging, and you probably should. However, these people in the black pill community are just folding their cards, giving up, and sitting in these, communities, these incel communities that are just disgusting. Like, they're just the cesspit of the internet. No offense. And they're not playing the hand, okay? And I just find that astounding, right? You're so lucky to be able to get to play this game of life, this this poker game, and you're not gonna at least try to like problem solve, workshop it a little bit, and like maybe like, okay, what if I did this, this, or this, and then maybe like I can win the hand, I can bluff, I got dealt 2-7 offsuit, and now I can fucking try and bluff it up a little bit, and like maybe I can get lucky like on the river or something like that. And the and one thing is that, especially nowadays, it's so, yeah, is that like accurate? I guess it is. Hmm. What can you do? But I think that with these people, like, especially now with the internet, bro, you could just like catfish, like not for love, but like you could like catfish online, work a remote job if you think that your appearance is holding you back professionally. Like, there's so many solutions, considering like you could live like a pretty anonymous life. And sure, maybe if you go out into public and you feel like you're getting mistreated because of your appearance, that's one thing. But you shouldn't use it as like an excuse to be like, man, my life is meaningless and I can never accomplish anything. Like, you can accomplish so much like anonymously now, so like online, like no excuses. But I'm not a sorry, a blue pillar. I'm not gonna say like just be confident, bro, because you know I get it. I used to be like, before I hit puberty and like grew up a little bit, I was pretty like chubby. I'll like put a picture of me being chopped, and I felt it at the time, and I'm fortunate where, I mean, black pillars, bro. Let me know if I'm a PSL4, I'm an SL5. Let me know. But I mean, I feel like I'm pretty average, and I'm glad I'm not, like a 1 or 2. But what was I saying? I just think that these these people are they're just getting a hand and folding instantly. And what sucks, and I think it's a harsh reality, and I think that they've taken this reality and just ran with it, is that maybe you won't find love, and maybe you can never get over it. But what I would say to that is that if you don't at least try to optimize your opportunity and like at least try, you'll never know. If you just find yourself in a cesspit on the internet and just give in, fold your cards, and just say, I'm just gonna chill here for the rest of my life. I'm not gonna do shit. Yeah, no duh, you're not gonna find love. Like, obviously you're not gonna. marry somebody. And I mean, I don't have love. Like, yeah, I'm 17 and I'm out here in no hose and whatnot. I don't know, man. Like my brother just opened his door. It's like 3 in the morning. Hmm. Whatever, man. Dude doesn't even watch my videos. Like, what the hell? Oh, brother, am I right, guys? Um, I don't know, man. This is such a cringy topic to talk about. Like, ugh. I don't know. It's just been on my mind because these people are just like, oh my God. I get it, and like it's valid, but it's just like, just play the game with the cards you're dealt. Like, if you watch poker, you can see like people win crazy pots with shitty ass dealt cards all the fucking time. Like, there are like ugly people that are like rich. Like, fucking, what's that dude's name? Jack Doherty, bro. That guy's chopped. He's like influential and like rich. Like, are you serious, bro? Then yeah, like, there's fucking what's that dude's name? The like there's so many like unattractive people and like there's so many unattractive people that are like successful. So I don't see how these people who are like taking the black pill are just like, fuck my life. I'm never gonna have any girls. I'm never like, dude, if you're rich enough, man. Nah, I'm just trolling. But I don't know. I think that these people just gotta just just get over themselves. Because first of all, odds are they're pretty privileged in the context of like the world. Second of all, um they're probably just not playing the cards, right? Like, and then complaining that they're losing. Of course you're gonna lose if you fold. That's the only way to guarantee lose. Like, you could stay in a hand and still have a chance most of the time. And even if like the odds that even if like, you know, you're at the final like fucking bet in a poker game, um, and your opponent has like the winning hand, they can still fold. They can still be bluffed out. Like, you can always bluff. And might not be the best play, but you only get to play one hand in life, so might as well bluff if you don't have fucking if you don't have a pair of aces in your freaking hole. So I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Uh, VPers, let me know. Let me know if I'm a PSO 10, bro. Let me know if I could be the edits. The winner takes it all. Looks Masters. Those are the people that are weird, but they're cooler. Well, not cooler. They're just like they're at least a little bit optimistic. Books Masters, let me know what I can work on. No, I'm trolling. All right, peace out.